Good morning guys and welcome back to the channel. So for today's episode of street photography, we are here in Harajuku and specifically into Meiji-jingu Shrine. And the camera that I've decided to use with me is the almost 20 years old Lumix L1. This camera is now equipped with a 1450 lens by Lumix 2.8 to 3.5, and I had this camera for about a year so far, but I didn't really use it too much. It's an old 4/3, not micro 4/3, so it's the same as the Olympus E1 that we have reviewed in a previous video. It's kind of interesting camera because as you will see now, the mirror, it's not flipping up down but inside, and it's a really interesting approach that Lumix took on the camera. Same as for the Leica Digital 3, that is the little sister of this camera, and just again highlight even more the partnership between Panasonic and Leica itself. So we always check how is the grip of the cameras that we are trying, and I have to say this is one of the best so far. The camera is heavy, heavier than the one that we have reviewed up to now. It has kind of resembling the shape of a Leica, but it's again so pretty thick. It has a really good grip, and it has an integrated really interesting flash that, as you can see, has a double click. Let me do it again. So you can bounce this light directly, for example, to the ceiling, or you can face directly to your subject. I think this is a pretty interesting solution adopted by Lumix, and it's sad to see how it wasn't in reality continued in other camera. It has a live view on the screen, and despite nowadays being something common, it was one of the first cameras that were able to provide such a feature. Now, it's not a real convenient live view because while, for example, through the viewfinder you are able to focus and then shut your picture, on the live view you just push the button and it will automatically take the picture itself. So there isn't too much opportunity to really understand if the picture is really light properly or not. Even if there is of course a bar in the bottom that will help you to understand if your composition in terms of shutter speed, ISO and aperture is correct or not. And speaking about that, one thing that honestly I really didn't like is on the viewfinder. When you are trying to focus and compose your picture, the information regarding the shutter speed and aperture, and if the picture is balanced between these two and the ISO factor, is on the right side and not really easy to view. This kind of hybrid between DSLR and rangefinder camera, in reality it's not a real rangefinder, because as we saw, it has this awkward and interesting mirror that flip on the side instead of upside down. The camera itself, it's using really old battery that nowadays is pretty hard to find. So these batteries are actually not lasting too much. there is still the opportunity to open this and replace the lithium battery inside with a new one, but it's not always an easy thing to do. The camera itself takes just one SD, so it's an easy type of media instead of the CF that, for example, we saw in the E1. Last but not least, this camera with this specific lens is taking advantage of the image stabilizer on the lens. Now, it's interesting to see that despite this and the Olympus were sharing the same type of mount, the body image stabilizer, not body, because it's on the lens, stabilization worked only on the Lumix camera for the Lumix lenses, while I'm pretty sure the lenses that had these features on the Olympus side were still able to be used on Lumix camera as well. Well, that's all for me for today. You saw some of these pictures. I can only check them out at the moment through the LCD screen on the back. I feel like it's not really helpful in terms of color. All the pictures, of course, as usual, are straight out of camera as a JPEG. The camera itself allows you to make some RAW as well, so you can play a little bit more with the color that and information that the camera itself can take. Well, as I said before, that's all for me for today. Let me know in the comments below if you are having the same camera, the Lumix L1, or if you are having the predecessor, the LC1, that instead of this with the interchangeable lenses had a fixed one, or if you have the Leica version, the Digilux 2 for the LC1 or the Digilux 3 for the L1. And let me know what do you think about this camera. Let me know how are you actually using it, say photography, portrait, or whatever other solution you feel like it's the best to use the camera for. Thank you for watching, and as usual, till next time, stay click. Bye.